next technique is going to be tornado kick or 360-degree turning kick. The first thing we need to make sure of before we try to attempt this kick is to make sure our turning kick is ready to go. So we'll run through turning kick first, and then we'll have a look at the other actions that we require to make sure we can execute a tornado kick correctly. Thanks. Okay, so we're going to break down the turning kick. So Tom, Ted, everyone adopt the stance, please, going stance. So, hands nice and high. The first thing we need to do is try and get the knee nice and high. So, some of us, our flexibility will limit the range we can bring it up, but we can still do a nice turn kick, even at the knee level, with good technique. So the first thing we need to do is knee up nice and high. Okay, so at the moment Tom's just done a front kick variation of the knee high lift. Just go back for me please, Tom. So what I want Tom to do is imagine Tom's going to bring the knee so it hits my hand at this direction. Yes, cool. So put your hand on my shoulder, mate. So from here now we're going to turn on these toes. So we're going to raise the heel, and as we do that, it starts to rotate the hip here. So now we have the knee in line with the target. So now the foot will extend. Instep variation, please. So we're kicking with the instep or shin, and the knee comes back, and we place it back down at the beginning. So one full speed for you, please, Tom. And back, a fifth breathe, two. And back. That's it. Good. So we have a couple of variations for turning kick or dolyochagi. The first one, if we use, say for sparring, if we're going to use the instep. So that's the most commonly one that people utilise. So create an L stance. Knee comes up towards the chest nice and high, and then we want to swing the knee around. So imagine we've got a baseball bat and we're coming across. So for our turning kick, we don't want to come up and then turn. We want to turn first. So it comes up and then we're going to turn. So we have to turn on the ball of the foot. Okay? So we're going to come up, kick, and then back down. So one more time. Knee comes up. So now we have our turning kick down. So now we need to look at doing the scissor action for the turning kick. So if I want to kick with my right leg will be at the front to start off with. So to create the scissor action turning kick, my back knee is going to have a high lift, just as though we're going to execute a front kick with it. Once we have it at the apex, we're going to jump off this leg. So imagine we're doing just a skip through. So that's a good drill to practice getting that high lift. So we go 1, 2, and 3. Once we have that down, then we can start to bring in the other leg. Once we're up, then we just execute the kick. So from here, up, once we have the scissor action, then we can move on and getting our footwork ready for the tornado kick. So now we're going to have a look at the setup for the tornado kick. So my leg to start off with, so we're in stance, we're going to pivot, and I want to look over my shoulder. So we stance, pivot our feet, look over the shoulder. Stance and shoulder. So we try and do that in one motion. But to start off with, what we want to try and do is getting our feet in the correct position. So if we do a frontal angle, from here, we're doing this, and then my upper body will whip through. So from here, 2, 3, getting ready do that kick. Okay. So once we're here, pivoting, looking over the shoulder, and now this leg will come through at high apex, just like we were for the front snap kick. If you go back to the front snap kick, first motion is that high knee, but also for the scissor kick is that high knee. So once we're here, we turn, looking over the shoulder, the knee now comes around, high knee. Front angle, here, pivot, shoulder, high knee. So keep that knee in line with the target. So if we're just doing the scissor kick, this is the same, whether it's here or here, it's the same position. Once we have that knee nice and high, then we can start to look at executing the kick. Alright, so now let's look at setting it up with full speed. So to start off with, we started here with the kicking leg at the front. So now we're going to start with the kicking leg at the back. So now we step. As we step, we're already pointing the heel towards the target. So we're going one, so now it's already rotating our upper body. So we're going one, knee will come through, and once we're here, now we practice the scissor action kick. Step, turn into the motion, knee nice and high, and scissor action. Okay. Now let's look at the tornado kick and full motion. Here. Just from the front angle, so we step in, heel towards the target, which rotates the upper body. So again, stance, one, knee nice and high, scissor.